A very good day to Miss Sayani and my fellow friends. Today, my group and I would like to present our report on an evaluation of customer satisfaction towards the services and facilities provided at Arau Railway Station, Perlis. We have divided our report into 8 main parts, and the overall presentation will be about 30 minutes. Now, I would like to introduce to you my group members. My name is Lian Chai Ling.
Hi everyone, my name is Chin Yun Li.
My name is Ishuri, daughter of Chandrasekharan. My metric number is 259050.
And my name is Chin Pei Yi, metric number 2567778.
Hello, Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. My name is Anis Hasmaja binti Muhammad Lut and my metric number is 255172.
Hi, my name is Karisha Rumiani. My metric number 259058.
Now I will start the presentation with part 1, which is the introduction. Public transport is highly developed and it is very practical in Malaysia. It helps to save citizens from driving difficulties. The train network was first built during the British colonial era to transport tin. Kereta Api Tanah Melayu Berhad, which is known as KTMB, is the main rail operator in West Malaysia. After the KTM commuter service, KTM ETS is the second electric train service run by the company and it operates between Gemas and Padang Besar. Now I will be explaining on the background of the company. Arau Railway Station is built in 1917 and is located at Arau, Perlis. It is one of the 2 main stations at Perlis. It is constructed with a modern style with an added taste of royal architecture. The current station was built as part of the Ipoh Padang Besar electrification and double tracking project, which was completed in December 2014. The next part I will be explaining on is the purpose statement. The purpose statement of this report is to evaluate factors affecting customer satisfaction towards Arau Railway Station. The scope of the investigation includes the quality of service and facilities provided at the station. Currently, Arau Railway Station is one of the public transports that is often used by students around the area since it is affordable and is located near the educational institutions. Therefore, it is often packed with users, especially in the evening, considering the service is also used by workers who work around the area. Due to this, the elevators tend to break down every now and then. This complicates consumers who have to carry heavy bags since they have to climb up about 2 flights of stairs in order to board the train. It can also be difficult during peak hours since the elevators has a space limit of 6 people per ride. Other than that, seeing as there are only 2 counters that operates at one time, many people have to queue up and this consumes time and energy for some. Now I will be explaining on the problem statement. Starting in January 2016, a new commuter service began operating from Butterworth Penang to Padang Besar at the Thailand border near Perlis. Therefore, Arau Railway Station is used as a jump-off point for people travelling by train from Thailand to Langkawi. The new services has caused the number of railway users to increase drastically. This in turn caused some users dissatisfaction towards the service provided. Therefore, this study would like to investigate the satisfaction of users and the improvements that could be made to enhance user satisfaction. That is all for my part. Now, I would like to pass the presentation.
Thank you, Chailin. So now I will present about the scope of evaluate the customer satisfaction in Arau Station. There are 2 main scopes, which is service and facilities. So as you know, service is an important driving force for organization excellence. So in this part, we will focus on the punctuality and the frequency of train. Punctuality is the main quality factors in railway industry and it will affect the satisfaction of train users. In Arau Railway Station, they are facing the issues of lack of punctuality. So the range of the train during peak hours is every 15 minutes and around 20 to 30 minutes during peak hours. But the arriving time in Arau Railway Station is getting worse. For the frequency of trains, a proper frequency provision by the Arau Railway Station is important because it could reduce the crowd especially during the peak hours. But when one train was delayed in Arau railway station, the number of passengers would increase and cause the train carriage would be highly packed. And when the train were unable to arrive according to the scheduled time, it will lead to further delay. And for the second scope, which is facilities, the improvement of the facilities is a continuous process in everywhere, including the railway station. Hence, in this part, we will focus on the elevators and the self-service kiosks. Elevators is actually to overcome the busy environment in our life. So in Arau station, there are only 3 elevators and only 1 elevator for users to move from the main entrance to the waiting room on the 2nd floor, and another is for them to move from the 2nd floor to the boarding area, and the third one is from the platform to the waiting area. So there are quite less in Arau railway station. And lastly, for the self-service kiosk, based on the current situation in Arau station, the queue is always long for customers to purchase the ticket since there are only 2 ticket counters. So therefore, self-service kiosk is suggested to provide in the station. So in short, in our study is to analyze the customer satisfaction over the punctuality of trains, frequency of trains, elevators provided, and will the self-service kiosk increase the satisfaction in Arau station. So now I will pass the presentation to my group member Iswari. Thank you.
The next part I am going to present on the methodology. There are 2 types of sources in this part, which is primary sources and secondary sources. For the primary sources, we have used 2 types of method. The first one is interview. We have conducted a face-to-face interview at Arau railway station with the station manager, Mr. Muhammad Rakin. This interview helped to collect information and understand how well KTM handles their customers. The second method is questionnaire. A 50 set of questionnaires are distributed randomly to the students in University Utara Malaysia using a simple random sampling method. For this report, a Google form was created as an online survey because the information needed could be obtained in a short amount of time and in a minimal cost. Next is secondary sources. The first method is website review. To obtain more information about Arau railway station, the KTMB official website was referred. It helped in gaining more data from customers' reviews and other information about Arau railway station. The second method is article review. We have go through and review articles on customers' satisfactions and perceptions towards rail public transport services. Next, I will present the analysis. The first part is the general question. The first question is, how frequently do respondents travel by train? The train is one of the public transport services in Malaysia and is very convenient for the Malaysians. Besides, train travelers is one of the most important transporters for the public. Based on the pie chart shows that 44% of the respondents occasionally travel by train and 34% of the respondents rarely travel by train. However, the minority of 20% of respondents often travel by train and only 2% of the respondents always travel by train. Therefore, it can be concluded that the respondents occasionally use the train services. Second question is, what is the purpose of respondents travel by train at Arau railway station? The above bar chart shows the result that 92% of respondents travel by train for studies and 32% of respondents travel by train for leisure. However, a minority of 2% of respondents who travel for work, travel, visit family and go back home for holidays respectively, and none of the respondents travel by train for business. Therefore, it can be concluded that the majority of passengers who using service at Arau railway station is students. Next part, I will pass upon my friend Chin Pei to continue.
Thank you, Iswanis. Now I would like to continue on punctuality. Most of the respondents agree that the frequency of train at railway station is accurate, and they have good experience while traveling by train at railway station. Majority of the respondents agree that railway station adheres to punctuality so that passengers don't have to wait for long hours because the train will arrive according to the schedule. 32% of the respondents strongly agree that the train was late departing at the beginning of the journey because the train tends to shut down due to technical problem. Some of the respondents claim that the train is delayed because the train is waiting for the signal from control station to control the trains traveling in the opposite direction or in the same direction to prevent one train overtaking another train. Most of the respondents strongly agree that the train was late arriving at the destination because from their experience, the train arrived late to their destinations due to climatic conditions, landslides, floods, trees fallen on tracks, and other reasons. 56% of the respondents satisfied with the schedule of Arau railway station. Most of the respondents support the statement because from their experience, the schedule gives the timing of departure from the source and arrival to the destination. It also recorded all the movements on a particular route for a particular station. Most of the respondents were satisfied with the cleanliness in our railway station. There was no rubbish such as plastic bag, tissue, and so on the floor because the cleaner always mopped and swept the floor, and thus it shows the cleaner at our railway station take excellent care in cleanliness. Majority of the respondents with the preference of rail service to other modes of transport. This is because from their good experience with the services in trains which are air-conditioned, seats are comfortable and positioned so that each passenger has a leg rest and a far more space. That's all my part. I will pass to Anis to continue the presentation.
I will be talking about the analysis of our questionnaire. For question number 10, respondents were asked to rank their experience with KTM services improvements in terms of comfort within 2 years' time. For comfort, 20 of the respondents voted 4 as their rank, which is the highest rank, which indicates that they are comfortable with the services provided by KTM. For convenience, 16 of them voted for 1 and 13 of them voted for 2. And 16 others voted for 3, which implies that most of the respondents think that it is inconvenient, the services provided by KTM. This is probably due to the fact that there are no public buses that goes to KTM. And for safety, 17 of them voted for 3 as their rank, which indicates that most of the respondents think that the safety at KTM Arau railway station is quite good. And for punctuality, 16 of the respondents voted for number 4 as their rank, which is the highest rank, which means that the respondents think that the respondents agrees that the services provided by KTM is punctual. For question number 11, the respondents were asked to vote and state whether they use the services of elevators provided at the KTM, and 44 of the respondents voted for yes. They use the services of elevators at the KTM. For question number 12, respondents were asked to rank their satisfaction towards the numbers of elevators provided. 17 of the respondents voted that they are satisfied with the numbers of elevators provided, and 16 of them voted that they are unsatisfied with the numbers of elevators provided. This is probably because during peak hours, the elevator area is always crowded, which means that they have to wait in a long queue to use the elevators provided at the KTM Arau railway station. For question number 13, respondents were asked to rank their satisfaction towards the location of the elevators, and 33 respondents voted that they are satisfied with the location of the elevators. This means that the KTM Arau railway station has positioned the elevators strategically. And for question number 14, respondents were asked to rate their satisfaction towards the condition of the elevators. 24 of the respondents voted that they are very satisfied with the conditions of the elevators, and 15 of them voted that they are satisfied with the conditions of the elevators, which means that KTM Arau railway station takes good care of the elevators and maintains it regularly to avoid any accidents that could happen in the future. For question number 15, the respondents were asked to vote whether they think that the elevators at the KTM Arau railway station often broke down or not, and 32 of them voted for no, which means that the conditions of the elevator is good most of the time. KTM Arau railway station has 2 ticket counters that operates at one time. For respondents were asked to rank their satisfaction towards the numbers of ticket counters provided at the KTM Arau railway station. 20 of the respondents voted that they are very satisfied, and 19 of them voted that they are satisfied with the numbers of ticket counters available. Based on the reasons that they stated, most of them purchased their tickets online, and some of them also stated that the service provided by the staff of ticket counter is fast, which means they do not have to queue up for a long time to buy a ticket. For question number 17, the respondents were asked to rank their satisfaction towards the efficiency of the ticketing staff. 23 of the respondents voted that they are very satisfied, and 22 of them voted that they are satisfied with the efficiency of the ticketing staff, which means that KTM Arau railway station is able to provide good service to their customers even during peak hours. For question number 18, respondents were asked to state whether or not they think that KTM Arau railway station should add kiosk ticket machines at the railway station, and 48 of the respondents stated that yes, they think that KTM Arau railway station should add kiosk ticket machines. This is due to the many facts, and one of them is that it will be convenient for the customers to use the machine, and also it will save time, and customers do not have to queue up a long time to buy tickets from the counter.
And continue the presentation with conclusion. First is service. In service there is 2. First is punctuality of the train. Based on the survey, it can be concluded that the respondent was satisfied over the punctuality of the train at Arau station. The Arau station train were punctual that it reached its destination as per arrival time given by in the schedule. Then the next is the frequency of the trains. Based on the data collected, it can be concluded that the respondent will satisfy over the frequency of the train at Arau station. The respondent has a good experience of traveling by the train, even though sometimes the trains are delayed. The respondent understood that the trains were only late when some situation is unpredictable, especially the peak weeks such as public holiday and school holidays. And next is the facility. In the facility also there is two. First is elevator. The result of the study indicate that the user of the railway station satisfied with the current facility provided by the Arau railway station. Most passengers who visit the station ride the elevator are available to ease their movement, even though the passenger have wait in a queue for quite a while during a peak hour. The next facility is automatic ticket machine. Based on the survey, it concluded that most of the respondents were satisfied with the number of the ticket counter and the efficiency of ticketing staff at Arau station. However, they think there is still add to the automatic ticket machine at Arau station, although they are satisfied with the service in the purchasing the train tickets. Recommendation. First is service. The punctuality of the trains. Based on the conclusions, the Arau railway station should improve more efficient and effective the punctuality of the trains. Then, must publish train schedule should be added as the strict as possible. For the frequency of trains, based on the conclusion, the Arau railway station should increase the frequency of the trains during the peak periods, such as school holidays and public holidays. Recommendation for facilities. First is elevator. Based on the conclusion, the Arau railway station come up with the other solution to increase the efficiency of the passengers' movement from one place to another place, such as providing an escalator to reduce the time it could take for the passenger to ride the elevator. And the automatic ticket machine. Based on the conclusion, the automatic ticket machine should be added at the Arau railway station to bring more convenience and increase the efficiency of the customer in purchasing the tickets, and the kiosk should be placed at the strategic place.